Area equals pi r squared. The radius here has already been given to you. It is 11. So it is pi times 11 squared, which is 121 pi, which is whatever that is, somewhere around 363. Somewhere around that. I don't have my calculator going. Yeah. Yeah, that calculator's a pain in the butt to use.
Let's use mine.
380.13.
Yeah, man. Oh, God, right.
This one. Pi r squared. Do you know r?
Yeah.
What is it? 2. So this is pi times 2 squared, which is 4 pi, which is around 12. 12.57. All of these are worth 1 mark because you only needed to fill in one thing. Those two. You only needed the formula. Now this one's tricky. There's no picture.
Oh, I just drew a picture.
Area equals pi r squared. Do you have an r? No, you have a circumference. But you know that circumference equals 2 pi r. So do you know your circumference? It is 25.1 equals 2 pi times r. How do you get r by itself? Because you need an r over here. What do you got to do?
Times 2.
No.
I mean, minus 2.
Divide by 2 pi. So r equals 25.1 over 2 pi. There's an r, right? There's an r, right? There's an r, right? So what do I do with this number? I square it. And then I multiply it by pi. So it's pi times 25.1 divided by 2 pi squared. Right? And you're just going to do that on your calculator. 25.1 divided by 2 times pi. Divided by 2 pi. Then you're going to square that number. And then you're going to multiply it by pi to get 50.13. Did anybody get it right?
I did it differently.
What'd you do?
I just, from the beginning, I just divided 25.1 divided by 2.
Yeah, it doesn't work. Circumference does not divide to radius. You needed to find the radius. Okay? That's wrong. This is how you do it right. I'm recording it, so if you want to watch it, you'll want to watch it. That would depend on how much work you did. Did you find your radius?
No, I did circumference equals pi d.
Yeah, okay. So you did circumference equals pi d. So you had 25.1 equaled pi d, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So 25.1 divided by pi got you d, right?
Yeah.
But you didn't need d, you needed r. So then you took that number and divided it by 2.
Yeah.
So you're fine.
So it's right.
Yes.
Okay.
Now, did you get that number?
No.
No.
No, of course not, because you use numbers. If you'd used just pi's, we would have the exact same number. Moving on up, this is very tricky. How do I find the area of the base times height divided by 2? But what's the base?
I know.
This is base times height divided by 2 to get a triangle, right? So what's your base? 2. What's your height?
3.8.
3.8 divided by 2. What do you do with those 2's?
Cancel.
Cancel them out. So what's the answer? 3.8 centimeters squared, right? What about here? Base times height divided by 2. What's the base? 7.6. What's the height? 5.2. Then you divide the whole thing by 2. What is the answer? What is it? 19.76. Yay, everybody's brilliant. Give yourself a mark on that page out of 1, 2, 3, 4, and 2 is 6.
I thought, wait, I thought they were.
No, that middle one was out of 2 marks. You had to do something special. What's this guy? You can just give me the answer, sure. 18.9 for 1 mark. If you don't have what I have, what should you do?
Add meter squared.
No.
Mark it wrong.
Mark it wrong, then ask me how to get it, right? What about this one? 25.16 for 1 mark. Huh? Everything here is worth 1. So you're only filling in a formula, Perry. It's not difficult. This guy, 64 for 1 mark. Find each missing length. Where's the missing length here? It's at the bottom. So is that plus or minus with the hypotenuse? Minus. 7.3 squared minus 6.8 squared. And then what do you do with that whole answer? Square root the whole thing. So I'm going to give you the right answers. You're just going to double check. No, I think you're okay, buddy. This is 2.7.
Oh, yes.
1 mark, because you're only filling in one thing. Number 10.
Wait, what was it?
14.7.
Oh, yes.
11.6. And 7.3. And then this one. 8.4. Give yourself a mark on that page out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Everybody good? All right, now listen to me. You now, if you could do the first 2 pages, you have everything you need to do the second 2 pages. You're just confuzzled if you aren't. So, what do I have there? A rectangle and a half a circle. Right? Right? So this, to do area, it's a rectangle plus a circle, but it's divided by 2, yeah? So what's the area of a rectangle? LW. What's the area of a circle? Pi r squared divided by 2. Now, fill it in. What's the L? $22. What's the W? 10 plus pi. What's the R? Say it loud and proud. The R is 5. Why? Because this is 10, so R must be half of that, yeah? So 5 squared divided by 2, correct? So it's 220 plus 5 squared is 25 times pi is 25 pi divided by 2, 12.5 pi, yeah? Then you just do the answer, 220 plus 12.5 pi. 259.27. That's going to be worth 2 marks, because all you had to do was figure that the area of 2 things, 1 mark each. Perimeter is different. If this is 22, what's this? 22. So it's 22 plus 22 plus 10. What's that? It's their circumference, isn't it? Is it a whole circumference? No, it's half a circumference. And circumference is pi d, isn't it? So plus, what's d is 10. So it must be 10 pi divided by what? 2, because it's only half a circle. So that's 22 plus 22 plus 10 plus 5 pi, which is 54 plus 5 pi, 69.71 for 2 marks. Did anybody get all 4 marks available to them there? Good. Now, you see how to do it, right? You take what you know and you work from there. Area of this. Well, if I cut that right there, then I've got a rectangle and a triangle, don't I? Yeah. So what's the area of the rectangle plus area of a triangle? What's the area of a rectangle? LW. What's the area of a triangle? Base times height divided by 2. What's the length? 24. Look again. 18. 18. What's the width? 14. Plus, what's the base of this triangle? 6. What's the height? 14 divided by 2, yeah? Craig, you're asking me. Got it now? You're good? 18 times 14 is what? 252 plus 42, 294 for area, for 2 marks. Because again, you didn't have to know anything, did you? Just a triangle and a rectangle, right? You guys just did rectangles right there, triangles right there. Now, perimeter is a little harder. What's this? 18 plus 14 plus 24. But you needed this side, didn't you? How do you find it? Pythagoras. If that's 6 and that's 14, how do we find Pythagoras? 14 squared plus 6 squared plus 15.23. Then you just added it up. $71.23. Now guys, please listen to me. On this worksheet, you did a bunch of Pythagoras, right? So you knew how to do it. On this worksheet, you did rectangles, right? So you knew how to do it. So what am I asking you to do? Put all your knowledge together, right? Next page over. So tough. So tough. Until you think about it. Wait a minute. That's 6 triangles, isn't it?
Yeah.
So the area equals 6 triangles for the hexagon plus this triangle here, yeah? Plus 1 more triangle. So that's 6 base times height divided by 2, correct? Plus a base times height divided by 2. What do you do with the 6 and the 2? Six divided by 2. What do you do? Divide. 3 base times height for the red ones, right? Do you have a base? What is it? 13. Do you have a height? No. You have this scenario. 13 across the bottom. Do you know this side? What is it? 13, because all those triangles have to be the same, don't they? So if that's 13, you have a line down here making 90 degrees. What does that do to this bottom 13? Cuts it in half. Meaning you have a Pythagoras triangle. Can you now find your H? So h equals 13 minus 6.5 squared, 11.26. So now do you have an h for there? You do, don't you? So that is 3. What's your base? 13. What's your height? 11.26. $439.07. But I haven't done this triangle, have I? I need base times height divided by 2, don't I? What's its base? 13. And you have a hypotenuse, don't you? So you just need the height, right? How do you do that? Pythagoras again, right? So that guy's h is 18 squared minus 13 squared. Go for your break. We'll finish this up when you get back.
We're going outside for the first time. No. Well. Thank you. No, I'm going to stop it. I'm trying to get off my foot. Try to get off my foot. I'll have it. Will you give me like half? Yeah. No, there's half. Will you give me and then I'll go walk and eat it at the same time? Then give me it and I'll go and eat it. Then give me it so I know for sure you're giving me it. I'll go to the store here. We're doing our test. And then we're going to this area. Shapes, first one. And then after that, we have a work done.
Okay. And the perimeter is all the way around the outside, yeah? How long is this? 13. How many of them are there? No. 5 times 13 covers all the yellow, yeah? Yes? And this one is how much? 18, so I got to add 18. Then I only need this side, don't I? How do I find this side? I've already done it with Pythagoras, right? 18 squared minus 13 squared gets me that. So I go to my calculator. We knew this was 12.45, so that has to be plus 12.45 to get you a total of 65 plus 18 plus 95.45. That was 2 marks for each, making that question out of 4. And finally, the last one, area and perimeter. What did you have here? You had a half a circle, a rectangle, and a triangle, didn't you? What's the area of a circle? Pi r squared divided by 2, right? So this was pi r squared divided by 2. What was the middle part? What's the area of a rectangle? LW. And what's the area of a triangle? Base times height divided by 2. Right? Yeah? Yeah. So, what's the R here? Did you know? No, you did not know the R here, because it's half of this, isn't it? So you needed half of this, didn't you? Well, this right here is 16 squared minus 8 squared to get this, isn't it? Square root. $13.86. Now, can you do everything? Yeah, because what's the radius over here? It's 13.86 divided by 2, right? 6.93. Yeah? So this is pi times 6.93 squared divided by 2. $75.4. The middle here is what? 21 by what? 13.86. To get 291.06. And what's the last one? Base, which was 8, times height, which was 13.86, divided by 2. $55.44. What do you do with those three numbers? Add them up. 421.9 for 3 marks. Because you had to add up 3 things. Perimeter, 21, 27, and 16, right? 21, 27, 16. Perimeter was 64 plus half a circle, right? What's half a circle? What's circumference of a circle? It's pi d, yeah? But I need half of that, so it must be pi d divided by 2, right? D was 13.86, right? So pi times 13.86 divided by 2. Right? So 13.86 pi divided by 2 is 21.77 plus 64, 85.77 for 3, making that out of 6. That out of 4, making that page out of 10. That page out of 2, 4, 6, 8, 18, and 7, making the whole thing out of 31. Yep. Give yourself a mark out of 31. I already did area. I had to erase it because I needed room space. It'll be on the recording. Everybody good? Yeah? Okay. Oops, I don't want to play Scrabble. No, it would be embarrassing for you.
Well, you're good.
I'm very good at Scrabble.
Yo, that went right in my ear.